Hello, 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 show with no namers. Let's rock and roll.
T-minus 10,
9, 8, 7, 6.
5,
Come on.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Here we go.
Ignition. Liftoff.
Come on.
Liftoff. 30 minutes after the hour.
Welcome, welcome. Time to rock and roll. Get ready. Hold on to your strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your and get ready for the ride of your life. The show with no name time on Fun Radio. It's a show with no name. Let's go. Welcome, show with no namers. I hope you are doing well. I hope you've been practicing your English. And I hope you are chomping at the bit. Estáis que no podéis. I don't know if I said that right in Spanish. To be chomping at the bit means you can't wait. You say tener muchas ganas. And I hear that a lot in Spanish. Tener ganas. También se puede decir I feel like. I feel like learning English today on the show with no name. I feel like laughing. Well, then you came to the right place. ¿Y no me apetece? I don't feel like doing something. Fijaos es con el gerundio, porque en inglés no me apetece hacer tal cosa. En inglés no me apetece haciendo. It's kind of weird. And I always call upon Bruno Mars with his famous song, The Lazy Song. Today I don't feel like doing anything. Hoy no me apetece hacer nada. I hope that's not the case. And if it is, we are going to turn things around really quickly here on the show with no name. Give you a little boost of energy while you learn English. And as you guys know, we've debuted a few new sections here on the show. Real reviews, wacky world records, and life hacks. Truquitos de la vida, not to mention our news report. And as always, we've got a lot of sections from, well, I would say the beginning. I'm curious. Maybe homophones has been since the beginning. I don't know if the jingles, let's put it this way. Some of the jingles haven't been around since the beginning, but some of the sections I think have been here. Like famous birthdays. That was a section on this show the day it started. So name that lyric. That was a section on this show the day it started. So some sections are just mainstays. ¿Cómo se dice esto? A mainstay, algo que aquí se ha quedado, ¿no? Mainstay. Vamos a ver cómo lo traducen. Pilar, right? A mainstay. Una palabra. Bueno, son dos palabras en una. Mainstay here on the show with no name. And then some of our latest, greatest ones. Now, say what? That's one that we just started doing, I would say maybe about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe tops, máximo, hace 5 años. So why don't we kick off with the Say What soundbite?
Say what?
Yes.
What?
All right, folks. Welcome to your Say What soundbite here on the show. This guy is really famous. You'll definitely recognize. Well, no, I don't know if you'll recognize his voice. I guess it depends if you've seen your movies and your series in English, because he's been in movies and series. Well, animated series. Oh, maybe I'm giving you too much information. Well, as you know, what you'll do here is hear a wide range, una amplia gama, a wide range of different accents and situations, all to train your ear to hear and understand every kind of English under the sun. Because there's my English, and then, well, there's the English that everybody else is speaking in Scotland, in Australia. English that sounds nothing like mine, but it's part of the language too. So that's kind of what this whole section works on: listening, summarizing what you've heard, and also being able to take dictation and being able to get it word for word, which is our ultimate goal in this section. So is everybody ready? All right, let's listen to our Say What soundbite here for the first time.
Luke Skywalker, eh? I'm not very fond of Jedi. In fact, I hate them.
Uh-oh, we made the dog bark. She doesn't like the Joker either.
Me pregunta el del chiringuito si quiero hacer kitesurf o wakeboard, o si prefiero tomarme un bitter cass antes. Me acaba de decir 5 palabras en inglés. Kite, que significa cometa. Surf, que es obviamente hacer surf, pero también significa oleaje. Wake, que es estela, en este caso la estela del barco. Board es tabla y bitter es amargo. Y justo antes, cuando le pregunté si hablaba inglés, me dijo:
pero patatero.
Sabemos mucho más inglés de lo que creemos. Solo nos falta asimilarlo y situarlo. Aprende a aprender inglés en cualquier lugar con This Book is the Milk y su secuela, This Book is the Milk 2. Te enseñaremos cómo enfocar el inglés, aprovechando todo el inglés que tenemos alrededor y de una manera divertida y adictiva. The Remilk ahora se llama This Book is the Milk 2 y viene con audio y nueva portada. Descúbrelos ya en vaughantienda.com.
That's right, folks. You've got This Book is the Milk. This Book is the Milk 2, T-O-O, también, que también es un homófono para dos. And then you've got This Book is the Shit. And those are the 3 in the Milk trilogy, as we call them. And then you've got also English Everywhere, which is a bunch of different situations, places. And then you've got English on the Go, which is about learning while you're traveling, on the go, aprendiendo inglés por ahí. From the signs, from eating, from local customs, we can learn with the 5 senses. So let's see what we're going to look at in today's Pop Quiz. Pop Quiz. Pop Quiz. Pop Quiz. Pop Quiz. Pop Quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop Quiz. Pop Quiz. Pop Quiz. Pop Quiz. Pop Quiz. That's right, amigos. Welcome to your pop quiz. And yes, today's pop quiz comes from one of my books. I was just doing a little foreshadowing. Well, I do that a lot here on the show. To foreshadow es darte un atisbo, presagiar, it says here, right? To give you a little bit of a clue of what's to come. So today we're going to be listening to a little audio clip from this book, Is the Milk 2? And as you know, all our materials at the Von Tienda come with audio. Some even come with video as well. So I like to say there's so much more than just books that we sell. They are multimedia resources. And I believe that. And I think if you are disciplined and you are, self-study is your thing, well, we've got everything you can possibly think about under the sun. Need help on phrasal verbs? We've got you covered. What about an online course? We've also got you covered. And if I'm not mistaken, go over to the website, grupovon.com. I got an email because I'm on the mailing list. Well, I like to know what's happening too. But recently, you might be able to get it still. I'm not sure, but I saw that recently there was a special deal on the online course. The best way is to be following us on social media. Also, you can subscribe to the newsletter like I do. And then, of course, you'll be the first one to find out about special deals, upcoming events, and new materials. As I always say, you'll be in the know, enterado. All right, everybody pay close attention. This is your pop quiz. And as you know, I don't just want you to sit there passively. I want you to absorb all the English you're going to hear right now because I'm going to ask you about it afterwards. Here we go. The Simpsons.
Wait. You're saying The Simpsons, not The Simpson. Los Simpson.
It's not Los Simpson. It's The Simpsons, just like the Kardashians, man.
So in English, you pluralize the surnames.
Well, there's more than one of us, right?
So we would be the Moyas in my family.
There you go.
The Moyas.
The Moya. We would say the Moyas. The Molas. Otra cosa es la pronunciación. Sí, pero con S.
The Alonsos.
De hecho, la expresión que tenemos, keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
The Joneses, los Jones son los vecinos. Y es un poco manteniendo las apariencias.
Yeah.
De hecho, el programa Keeping Up with the Kardashians es un juego de palabras que viene de eso. But we've got a family that everybody likes more than the Kardashians. But, Damian, you're obsessed.
Me? Well, yeah, everybody is obsessed with The Simpsons. Come on.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
everybody loves them.
I mean, it is how many seasons now? Like 500 billion?
Yeah, more or less. But they're going worse than they used to be.
Oh, okay. Well,
But
it's hard
still,
to keep that quality up, I imagine.
no, it is
After
very
so
difficult.
many seasons, temporadas.
But I used to love them when they were broadcasted in Antena 3. I always watched it.
Who were your favorite characters? Did you have any
Homer,
favorite?
come on, everybody loves Homer.
Did you hit a homer with Homer? Un home run, a homer.
Yeah, the Bart was supposed to be the main character, but in the end, Homer was so good that he became the main character.
He stole the show.
He stole the show.
Literalmente.
At least he stole the show.
Right? It's true. Homer became the star. He upstaged. Quitó protagonismo. All right. What about Itchy and Scratchy? They're like sub characters, but the show wouldn't be the same without them.
They will help us with English. Itchy and Scratchy. Rasca y pica, literally. Because to itch es que te pica. El picor. My arm itches.
Muy bien. Yeah.
Porque en inglés los brazos son tuyos.
Yeah. No
Sois muy
decimos el
capitalistas.
brazo. The arm itches me. No. Eso
My
suena
arm.
como otro de fuera te está rasgando. What? What arm?
My arm itches, and so I'm going to scratch it. Voy a rascar.
And also, I'm itching to is estoy con muchas ganas, ansioso. Me pica todo. I'm itching to go to the United States this summer.
Yeah, I'm itchy.
I'm itching to. Es la
I'm itching to. So el verbo es,
I'm itching to.
Okay, I'm itching. So el verbo es to itch.
Y muchas veces si tenemos ese gusano, que algo que queremos, we say, well, if you have an itch, you got to scratch it sometimes. O sea,
Yeah.
no solo en el sentido literal se usa esto.
Cuando quieres algo mucho, más vale que lo hagas y ya está, ¿no?
Yeah,
Porque si
you got
no-
to scratch that itch, man. It's not going to go away.
you better help yourself. Okay, what about el director Skinner?
Director? What do you mean,
Bueno.
director? He's a principal.
Principal, you say, right? Principal Skinner.
You guys change everything. The Simpson, director Skinner.
El
Oh, my.
director Skinner, claro. Principal Skinner. Skinner es despellejador.
Well, it's an appropriate name.
Yeah.
My principal was quite a Skinner.
Yeah. So to skin es arrancar la piel, es despellejar.
Sí, es una palabra lógica, ya que piel es skin. No, es como la palabra agua es water,
Sí.
pero regar.
Es to water.
Ay.
Yeah. And to milk es
Ordeñar.
ordeñar. So easy.
Y así
English
todo
is
el
so
día.
easy.
No, no todos los verbos funcionan así.
No todos, pero muchos, muchos. Hay que sacarle partido a lo fácil del inglés.
Claro.
This
claro.
book is the milk too.
And what about scruffy? In fact, I'm a little bit scruffy, wouldn't you say? today?
Yeah, not too much, but sometimes, yeah, scruffy es como que es desaliñado o algo así, ¿no? Es
Yeah, reminds me of somebody from Scooby-Doo, Shaggy.
shaggy.
No, es tener el pelo por todos lados, melenudo. Scruffy, I always think about a beard.
Yeah.
You have that scruff.
Maybe people don't remember who Scruffy is. Scruffy appears in Futurama.
Futurama. Well, guys, either way, you should have the book.
Yeah.
You should be following along with the book here.
Yeah, you should. So, as you know, Scruffy is this guy who was the cleaner in Futurama.
Well, Mac Groening. Maybe it's The Simpsons. We're talking about Mac Groening because it pronuncia Groening.
Groening. No es Groening.
No,
Groening.
debería ser Groening, but no, it's Groening.
Well, Groenlandia, you say Greenland.
Greenland. Yeah.
So in the end, it's almost the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, the last one. Okay, Troy McClure.
Hi,
Hola,
I'm
soy
Troy
Troy
McClure.
McClure.
Hi.
Seguramente me recuerdes ¿cómo dices
So
eso?
why did he have a Latin American accent?
Because we relate him with Teletienda. That's why.
Infomercials.
Infomercials, yeah.
Mhm.
That's why. So lure es como atraer, ¿no?
Yeah, to lure people in es atraerles. Y también es cebo. When you go
Cebo.
fishing, your lure, in your tackle box, se llama la caja, donde llevas todas las herramientas.
Nice. It makes sense because he's always announcing stuff. He's promoting stuff.
Yeah. Y hablando de pescar, Damian, you're the cane of Spain.
Yeah.
La caña. How would we say la caña de pescar en inglés?
The rod.
The rod or
fishing
the
rod.
fishing pole?
Pole.
Yeah, ¿quieres opciones? Te las damos.
Fishing pole. Como,
Oh, yeah.
como pole dancing.
Exactly.
It makes sense. Es un palo.
Of course. Un palo. That's right, folks. All right. Chock full of English. You got like a 4-minute clip there that is full of English stuff. All right, let's see what you got from there. The first thing I want is an idiomatic expression that means stop trying to live up to everybody else's standard or social class. Okay? So it's an expression I said there that's extremely popular. I said something about the Kardashians because the expression has changed now. Not really. Many people still use the original one. But then you'll understand why the show is called The Kardashians. Okay? So what's the original expression that means manteniendo apariencia? Oh, the way I always explain this is it's a slippery slope. No, es un callejón sin salida. Empiezas y ya no hay vuelta, So your neighbor gets a BMW Series 3, a Beamer. A Beamer es otra forma de decir un BMW. A BMW Series 3. And you're like, Series 3? Well, we need to get a 4 then. Then you get the 4. Then the other neighbor gets a Series 5. And then, you see what I mean? So this is trying to keep up appearances, trying to, I don't want to say the exact phrasal verb, and I almost did. In fact, I said the word keep All right, well, I gave you most of the expression, so you should know it by now. Now, as always, I'd like you to use it in context, because if you use it in context, then I know you know how to use it correctly. Okay? So the expression that means, look, I can read it to you here. Is an idiom in many parts of the English-speaking world, referring to the comparison of oneself to one's neighbor, where the neighbor serves as a benchmark. A benchmark es un donde medirte for social class or the accumulation of material goods. That's why I said it's a slippery slope. Entonces, ¿dónde acaba esto? Right? And failure to is perceived as you're inferior culturally and socioeconomically. And the phrase was coined, I've even got the etymology here, by a 1910 comic. There was a comic strip that had this name. See, I didn't know that. I just learned that right now. So, as I always say, we're learning together, folks. So there's number one in your pop quiz. Number two, I didn't give you this one in the audio, but I think I've talked about it here on the show. All right, we said Bart Simpson, right? Was the main character of The Simpsons, que no se pronuncia Simpson, sino Simpson, como pecado, sin, Simpson. Well, from his name, we can get the word engreído, malcriado, niñato, I've heard over here. All right, well, use it in context, all right? Now, again, if you know his name, which I just said, it's an anagram. An anagram is when you mix all the letters around. All right, so that's an easy one too, I think. That is number two in today's spelling bee. And the third one, at the beginning of the show today, I told you, I feel like doing this. Me apetece, tengo muchas ganas. I'm chomping at the bit. Well, there's another way to say it. And we said it in this audio. That's right. We said it in the audio. Another way of saying, me apetece, tengo muchas ganas, pero muchísimas, No es, bueno, me apetece, es, me apetece muchísimo, right? Just to give everything its proper weight, darle a cada frase su peso. Esto es, muero por hacerlo, ansio, no, estoy que no puedo. All right? So we're going to look at three totally native things today, three totally native concepts in our pop quiz. Number one, this way of saying, how do we, maintain the same level as everybody around us, or at least make it look that way? Okay, again, it's like the whole idea of consumerism, buy more, and you'll be happier. And I can't subscribe to that personally. Okay. Number two, another way of saying, as I said, a kid who is spoiled. That's one way to say it. You're very spoiled. Que es también pasado, right? This milk is spoiled. No se ha pasado de fecha. Pues también es spoiled or spoilt. Es uno de estos que se puede conjugar regularmente o irregularmente. So, he's a spoiled, casi digo la segunda palabra, porque se usan juntos, Ahora, en Estados Unidos yo diría que diríamos spoiled, con ed, más que nada. All right, and the last one, otra forma de decir, I really feel like doing something. All right, and you can give that to us in the comments. Speaking of the comments, we've got Elena in the house. Hello, lovely Elena. It's wonderful to have you with us, bringing all your energy and bringing a little bit of the magic, that interactive magic that makes this show work. And Elena says, good morning, AA and mates. Guess we're back to the grind. Wait, you guys smell that? Is that a totally native? Yes, it is. There's a totally native. Elena, first comment, first totally native. Congratulations. Hats off to you. So yeah, back to the grind, or back to the grindstone, significa la vuelta al cole. Awesome. It's great to have you back. The routine is awesome if you guys are a part of it. So Elena also says, hope everyone had a wonderful vacation. I've got to say, personally, I don't know if I told you guys, I don't want to get into too much detail. In my family, we've had a difficult summer. It's been quite a trying, esta es una forma más bonita de decirlo, a trying or very challenging summer. But as Gloria Gaynor says, I will survive just as long as I know how to live. I know I'm still alive and I got all my love to give. You know it. So thank you, folks, for your positive energy. Elena says, talking about today's Say What soundbite, a wacky British man joking about the fact that he doesn't like Luke Skywalker nor Jedis. Bueno, Jedi sin ese, es plural y singular. Jedi, when suddenly a dog barks. Great ear. Awesome job, Elena. All right, folks, we'll be right back, so stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. This is the second part of today's show with no name. Great to have you with us. We're going to start off with our Say What soundbite. After that, we'll check our pop quiz answers. And then we've got our news report. We've got homophones, we've got spelling bee, double trouble, and so much more. We're going to cover a lot of stuff on today's show, as we always do. You know me. I've got a lot to say. I remember when I said that to Richard Vaughn. When I first started doing the show with no name, he said, my friend, you got to slow down. And I said, I can't, Richard. I've got a lot to say, and I've got 2 hours. And in fact, at that time, the show was 1 hour. So, in general, not just here on the show, I've got a lot to say. And I can't keep it in. No me contengo. Is that how you say it? Contenerse, contengo. Hey, yo me esfuerzo. I make an effort. So I make a lot of mistakes in Spanish. You know why? Because I'm always trying to use new vocabulary and new structures. I'm always trying to leave my comfort zone. Sound familiar? Same exact thing I'm telling you. Leave your comfort zone. Yeah, you'll make mistakes, but that's fun. As long as they're not fatal mistakes. Like, you know, if you're a pilot, well, it's a different story. But if you're just speaking a language, who cares? No big deal. No es una gran cosa. All right. So yes, Elena said about our Say What soundbite. She said it a wacky British man. Well, the guy's putting on some kind of voice, but he's not British. By nationality, he is from my neck of the woods, from the United States. And yeah, it's interesting because the word Jedi in English is singular or plural. This is thanks to Steven Spielberg, George Lucas. George Lucas, you know, he said, the Jedi need your help. That means all of them, right? So there's el plural de Jedi es Jedi, which is pretty crazy because in Spanish, fíjate, you know, in English, it's the last Jedi. Does that mean uno o muchos? En inglés, puede ser los últimos Jedi o el último Jedi, ¿no? Ahora, en español, el momento que se tradujo, sabíamos que era uno, ¿no? So that was kind of a giveaway there, a spoiler. Mira, hemos visto antes la palabra spoiled or spoilt, right? So I just, but it's true. En Spanish, entonces hay uno, pero en inglés tú no sabías si quedaban o varios o uno. So Jedi. And he doesn't like Luke Skywalker nor Jedi when suddenly a dog barks. Absolutely, Elena. Awesome job. All right, what have we got to do now? Let's listen to that Say What soundbite a second time, and we'll see if anybody else can extract something from it.
Luke Skywalker, eh? I'm not very fond of Jedi. In fact, I hate them.
Uh-oh, we made the dog bark. She doesn't like the Joker either.
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah. Wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así da gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damian, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
Vaughantienda.com.
It's the shit. That's right, folks. This book is the shit. But today we're taking a look at a little excerpt from This Book is the Milk Too, from the same collection, from the same Twisted Minds, Mentes Retorcidas. Yeah, Damian and I, my friend, my partner, we've got nothing to hide there. Why bother? ¿Por qué nos vamos a molestar? We are Twisted Retorcidos, and we've written 3 books. Well, more. I've written 5, and Damian's written another 5. So 3 together, and then we've written a few more each separately as well. All right. Well, that was your Say What soundbite for the second time. Elena had something to say about it, and she was pretty on point. Now, the guy is not from Britain, but guess what? He is putting on a strange accent, so it's normal that you would say that. All right, let's see. Elena's taking part as well in today's pop quiz. Elena, what can I say except you freaking rock? No matter what you put. Although I can already see some totally natives in there. All right, let's see. Elena says, be realistic. Be realistic. You'll never be able to keep it up with the Joneses. All right? Just one little thing there. El it nos sobra. Por esto siempre vemos las cosas en contexto. Really important to see because you're like, oh, el it. No. To keep it up is si yo te lo digo a ti. Keep it up. Good job. Also, to keep it up is to maintain an erection. Hey, just letting you know, depending on the context, right? People take Viagra to keep it up. That one is quite clear what the it is. But here we don't need the it. It's extra. So you'll never be able to keep up with, mantener el ritmo, ¿no? De the Joneses, los Jones, que sería el vecino. El nombre is a very typical last name. Here it would be like los Gutierrez, los Fernández. ¿No? Manteniendo el nivel de los Fernández. And then obviously the show came about with the Kardashians, and well, they just took that common idiomatic expression and they said, well, keeping up with the Kardashians, okay? Which is also manteniéndote al día con ellos. I just realized that's a really smart, even though I've never watched the show, nor will I think it's a smart name. Keeping up, manteniéndote al día con ellos y manteniendo su nivel. Very good title there. So to keep up with the Joneses. And then she says, drop it, déjalo. Told you there was a totally native in there. You'll never be able to keep up with the Joneses. Drop it. The next one, she says, his mother pampers him. There's another one. Pamper. Mimar. Yeah, malcriar. But not always malcriar, because you can say, oh, I like to take the weekend to go to a spa and pamper myself. No, tratarme bien, darme el... And it's interesting because one of the most famous brands of diapers in the United States, pañales, the British say nappies, we call them diapers, is Pampers. De hecho, hay gente que dice, we got to get some Pampers. Okay, and it's mimar, consentir, darse un gusto, mimarse a uno mismo también. So great word, Elena. She says, his mother pampers him too much, so he's a spoiled brat. Wow. Y esa es la frase que buscaba. No solo brat, que viene de Bart Simpson, pero spoiled. Excellent. Es que es frase hecha. Elena, wonderful job. And she says, I'm so fired up. Motivada. Wow. Are you serious? Somebody has been working hard this summer. I know who. Wow. Excellent, Elena. I'm so fired up. Tan motivado. Motivada, perdona. We have a gig to attend to. Lo único, te voy a quitar el to, porque to attend. Asistir. En inglés, I attended the concert. So, el to nos sobra. ¿Ok? Pero claro, por eso lo ha escrito y ahora sabemos, y ahora sabe ella, y sabemos todos que ese to nos sobra ahí. So we have a gig to attend, none other than el mismísimo. Toma. That's 3 totally natives in one comment. That's amazing. We have a gig to attend, none other than Camilo. Oh, wow. I hope that's based on a true story. That sounds amazing, Elena. That sounds like a lot of fun. All right, let's see. Elena says, oh, wait a second. Are you serious? Ladies and gentlemen, she got the Say What soundbite after only 2 listens. Oh, my God. Elena. WTF, why the face? No, it's why the face. It's what the holy cow, Elena. I don't know what time you woke up today, but you are on the ball, espabiladísima, and you're doing a wonderful job. All right, well, folks, we've got a lot of stuff to cover. As you know, the show's got to keep moving on, so let's take a look at one of our latest, greatest sections, our news report.
This is the news report on the show with no name, bringing you the latest breaking news. I'm Alberto Alonso, reporting live.
All right, my amigos, that's right. Oh, and I forgot the other one I was looking for. Elena, you gave us some great ones, but there was one, too, that I used in the audio. I'm itching to go to that concert. O para mirar el attend. Vamos a poner la misma frase. I'm itching. Yo no digo la G. I'm itching to attend that concert. It's going to be a blast. Y yo lo digo yo por Alter Bridge, que vienen a Madrid en febrero. So say, hey, don't I always tell you personalize it? I'm itching to attend the Alter Bridge concert. So yes, I feel like es con ing. I'm itching to es con el infinitivo. All right, So today's news report is grin and... ¿Te sabes el resto de la frase? You say ajo y agua es lo que hay. Me encanta el ajo y el agua. Es brilliant. Es lo que hay, pero es una forma más suave, ¿eh? Es sonríe y aguántalo. You know what? What is the rest? Grin and bear it. Yeah. Grin es sonreír and bear it es aguántalo. Es lo que hay. Si no lo puedes cambiar, right? All right, finish this one. I scream, you scream. We all scream for ice cream. All right, well, this story has to do with a bear, un oso, and ice cream. Do you know where this is going? Well, who knew? I didn't know bears have a sweet tooth. To have a sweet tooth, you say ser goloso. Well, I guess they'll eat anything, right? The bears that live by my dad, well, they go through the garbage. They'll eat, leftovers. They don't care. Well, they're hungry bears, But I thought, they would eat anything. Well, no. Some of them have a sweet tooth. And a bear to break into is entrar a la fuerza. It's what a robber does, right? He broke into the house. He was charged with breaking and entering, right? Esto es entrar a la fuerza a una casa. And we call it a break-in. There have been a lot of break-ins in the area. Thieves have been breaking into people's homes, okay? So the bear broke into an ice cream parlor. Yeah, that's how we say. You can say a pizza parlor, an ice cream parlor. Parlor is another word for sala, but it's used with ice cream, with pizza. Yeah. And so this took place in South Lake Tahoe in California. California, as they say. And after the bear broke in, he went straight to the strawberry ice cream. He helped himself. To help yourself, sírvete tú mismo. Well, I wouldn't serve him. There was nobody in the store, luckily. But the bear smelt the ice cream, and he went right for the strawberry ice cream. And when authorities arrived, they couldn't believe their eyes. There they saw a bear behind the counter, detrás del mostrador. La palabra mostrador y encimera es la misma en inglés, ¿eh? Piensa, es lo mismo, ¿no? Donde puedes apoyar los brazos, right? So they could barely believe their eyes. You get it? Barely, apenas, bear. Bueno, son homófonos. They could barely believe their eyes. I mean, imagine you walk into an ice cream shop and there's a bear in there eating a strawberry ice cream. Now, it's interesting because the sheriffs said that the bear didn't show any interest in any other ice cream. So on top of having a sweet tooth, the bear was quite finicky. Finicky or picky, as we say. And, pretty crazy. I mean, I got to say, strawberry ice cream is good. It's one of my favorites. Well, they got the bear out of the store, out of the ice cream parlor. How? A little bit of encouragement. I imagine they just took some more strawberry ice cream and put it outside. I don't know. But they got the bear out of the store without harming anyone or the bear. And thankfully, there was barely, all right, I'll stop. There was barely any property damage. Nobody was injured. And the bear was quite neat. He wasn't sloppy. He wasn't messy. Yeah, it was a neat bear. Neat or tidy, you can say. Que no ensució. They didn't have to clean up after the bear either. So even though this story could have taken a dark turn, it didn't. It actually ended up being some of the funny, wacky, odd news that we look at on our news report. Also, if you guys come across any English stories that you think I would like to share here on the show, let me know. You guys can always reach out via social media. All right, that was today's news report. But right now, it is time to move on to our Spelling Bee.
Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee.
Hello, amigos, and welcome to our Spelling Bee here on the show with no name. As always, in our Spelling Bee, these words are all around a certain topic. They're all related in some way. So aside from doing a Spelling Bee, we'll also talk about a certain topic, something that happened today in history. All right, is everybody ready? Okay. Round one is hellish. Hold on to your hats. Number one is U.S. space CONGRESS. The second one is SEQUUOIA space NAT IONAL space PARK. The third one is SIERRA space NEVADA. The fourth one is VISALIA, comma, space CA. The fifth one is GENERAL space SHERMAN space TREE. And the last one, TULARE space COUNTY. There you go. Oh, so it has something to do with nature, I guess, right? You hear those birds chirping? You can say to chirp or to tweet. Let's see. Elena says, we actually attended Camilo's concert in Galicia. It was so special. And Elena, not only was it special, but also you just learned from your mistake. And for a teacher, that is the greatest thing. That is a godsend. That's awesome. O sea, en la frase anterior dijiste attend to, y en la próxima dijiste attend. And that, to me, that's why I'm here. When I see my students getting it, making those little adjustments, the problem, I'll tell you what really irks a teacher. To irk is molestar. When I have to correct the same mistake from the same student 20 times, 40, 50. And that's when I'm like, are you paying attention here? Or are you just not, what's going on here? Houston, do we have a problem here or not? Right. But excellent concert, I'm sure. And lovely how you were able to make that little adjustment right away. En el momento. Excellent. All right, going once, going twice. Ooh, seems a bit difficult then. Today's say what soundbite? No, because Elena already got it. I mean the spelling bee, but also round one is always quite hellish. Let's see if we have a little more luck with round two. All right, the first one is U.S. space CONGRESS. The second one, SEQUUOIA space NATIONAL space PARK. The third one is SIERRA space NEVADA. The fourth one, VISALIA, comma, space CA. The fifth one is GENERAL space SHERMAN space Tree. And the last one is Tulare space County. There you go, my amigos. That is as slow as I can go. If I go any slower, I'm not really doing you, I'm doing you a disservice, right? I'm not really helping you there because I don't think anybody, if they had to spell something for you, would slow down more than that. Okay, if you asked 3 times, yes. But I mean, first shot. Primera prueba. All right, going once. Ooh, challenging today, huh? Well, it's always challenging, as you all know. The most challenging section on this show is usually our spelling bee. But hang on, maybe I spoke too soon, because we may have a winner, somebody who is going for the gold today. Let's see, Elena, the first one is correct. The second one is correct as well. Well, you got an extra comma in the first one, but that's all right. Let's see. The second one's correct. The third one, fourth, fifth, and missing one. Well, I'll tell you what, you did better than everybody else. So you win. Awesome, Elena. I don't know what you had for breakfast, but I'm going to ask you to repeat that. Whatever you did this morning, do it every morning, because it is paying off. Está dando frutos. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got to go to a quick commercial break right now. We'll be right back. We've got a lot of stuff to do, so you're not going to want to go too far away. When we come back, we're going to listen to our Say What soundbite again. We've got our homophones section. We'll also take a look at our spelling bee. We've got double trouble. And one of our new sections, our life hacks, which is a very useful section, well, around the home, with the car. All these little tricks that make your life easier when you're in a pickle, when you're in a bind. Folks, we'll be right back, so stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back. This is part 3 of the show with no name, or the second half, call it what you will. We've already gone through an hour of today's program, but we've got another hour up ahead, and it is action-packed. A tope de acción, de energía. We got Simon checking in, fichando. Simon says, hi, Alberto. Hello, Simon. Greetings from Denton, Texas. Great show to learn English. Well, thank you very much, Simon. Thanks for tuning in. And it is early over there on that side of the pond. So, hey, you know what they say? The early bird gets the worm. And Simon, that worm is yours today. Thank you so much to all of you who join us from every continent. It's really amazing when I look at the figures and look at audience things. I don't look often, but from time to time I look with FYI, or, you know, I always read the comments that you guys leave on the podcasts. And really, Dubai, Japan, United States, it's truly amazing. And I thank you. I thank you for joining me and getting, most of all, captando, entendiendo, getting what I'm doing here every day on the show. All right, well, folks, it's time for Homophones on the Show with No Name. Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name. That's right, amigos. Welcome to our homophone section where we look at words that tend to throw people off. Suelen desconcertar. So let's see if you're one of those people. I'll tell you by the end of the section, you'll definitely know the difference, if there is one, between these two words. All right, the first word, I can't help but think of pickles. Hey, before we said to be in a pickle, estar en un apuro, estar en un pepinillo. Well, this herb, the British say herb, ellos pronuncian la H de hierbas. This aromatic herb, no, I'm going to say American and then British. So this aromatic herb, or this aromatic herb, is used in pickles. Yeah, I've also seen it with salmon a lot. Me imagino que va bien con salmón. I've seen it served, at least in the United States, with salmon. If you don't know the one I'm talking about, it's called eneldo. Eneldo. I remember one of the first things I got familiar with when I moved to Spain was what you guys call, you know, albahaca, perejil, you know, the basic seasonings and spices. I needed to learn those. So, well, this is one. It's not as common, but it's good to know. Okay. Now, also, if you live in Australia, I didn't know this, it's slang for idiot. Imbécil. Okay. So, bueno, la palabra suena un poco así. Oh, don't be a. So I would understand it in context, I guess. But for us, it's an aromatic herb. An aromatic herb. All right. And the second word is chollo, a bargain. También es acuerdo, trato o transacción. It's also repartir. Okay? It's also tratar con, trato, tratar con. So it's a noun and a verb, as we're seeing here. Okay? And it's one you need to know. No, hicieron un trato, hicieron una operación. Okay? So the first word is eneldo. Eneldo, something you'll find in the kitchen. And the second one, I used it before too, because it's also part of the expression, no es gran cosa. It's no big, Yeah, that's the word. Okay. And we'll take a look at it, of course, really quickly after I give you today's Say What soundbite for the third time. Now, Elena already got it. Let's see if anybody else can figure it out. Here it is. Today's Say What soundbite for the third time.
Luke Skywalker, eh? I'm not very fond of Jedi. In fact, I hate them.
Uh-oh, we made the dog bark. She doesn't like the Joker either.
¿Qué tiene que ver la Universidad de Oxford con Vaughan? Pues muchísimo. Es una alegría anunciar que Vaughan ha sido certificado como centro examinador de Oxford Test of English. A partir del próximo mes de marzo 2023, podrás hacer los exámenes de Oxford Test of English en los centros de Vaughan. Si quieres más información sobre esta iniciativa de Vaughan y Oxford, puedes ver más en nuestra página web, grupovaughan.com. O bien síguenos en redes sociales para más información. Oxford Test of English con Vaughan.
That's right. It is the Oxford Test of English, and you can get it done at any of our Vaughan centers. Again, if you're not following us on social media, that is the easiest way to get all the information, whether it's a special deal, whether it's an upcoming event, new materials, anything like that, you'll know about it on our social media. Also, if you're like me, well, you like to see the newsletter as well. So you can sign up to our free newsletter just by going to our website, grupovaughan.com. All right, let's take a look at these homophones over here. Elena gives us the two correct words, and she says and are not homophones. And are not homophones. All right. Well, let's say the two words, and I mean, then it'll be crystal clear, right? Okay, the first word is dill. Dill. Okay? Say it with me. This is a really important part of this section. Dill. Dill rhymes with still. Are you still using dill with your pickles? Right? Dill. Also rhymes with spill, derramar, tirar. Also rhymes with kill, right? So if you can make that ill sound, ill, que es enfermo, then you can pronounce it. Dill, okay? Again, if you're in Australia, don't call anybody a dill because you'll be calling them an idiot. And them's fighting words, as we say in the States. Those are, pero una forma mala de decirlo, them's fighting words. So the second word now. The second word is deal. Deal. All right. Let's see. Voy a decir, vamos a hacer un trato con Eneldo. Let's make a deal with Dill. Let's make a deal with Dill. They are not homophones. Wow. 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 All right, great. Well, you don't know how many times I've heard people mispronounce those words because, deal. Well, they don't know. It's dill, dill versus deal. Deal rhymes with steal, feel, seal, wheel, right? These are other words that rhyme with it. So they do not. Now, the word deal also is a verb. Let's see if you know how to conjugate it. Every day I deal with a lot of people. Yesterday I dealt with. Aunque se escribe dealt, es dealt. O sea, en tu cabeza, tienes que ver esa palabra sin la A, como si fuera D-E-L-T. Ahora sí, ¿no? Dealt. So, every day I deal with a lot of people. Yesterday I dealt with a lot of people. And lately I've dealt with a lot of people. So it's deal, dealt, dealt. So a deal, un acuerdo. Let's reach a deal. Okay? Me encanta esta. Let's seal the deal. Vamos a cerrar el trato, right? La transacción. If I say something is a deal, pues I can say es un trato, es una transacción, o es una ganga. Again, context will tell you everything. A deal, a deal. Also, a dealer, if you go to Las Vegas and you play cards, the dealer will deal the cards, right? And we even have an expression. Man, you've been dealt a hard hand. No, te han repartido cartas malas. You got to play the hand you're dealt. So we use it not only in the literal form of gambling, pero tus cartas en la mesa, same as you guys there, right? Well, I guess those are just people who love poker who came up with their own idiomatic expressions. Well, we poker face, to have all your cards on the table, to have an ace up your sleeve. You'll be surprised how many idiomatic expressions. You bet. Claro que sí. Pues you bet es tú apuestas. So there are many, many idiomatic expressions that come from gambling, from any kind of sport, if you will. So awesome. And no big deal. Yeah, it's no big deal. No es una gran cosa. Don't worry about it. And it's a big deal means, oh, esto es muy importante. O es una transacción grande. Again, the context will tell you everything. And it's not just dealer. A dealer is not just somebody who works in Las Vegas. Well, what if you're a drug dealer? There are many of them in Las Vegas too. Okay. There are dealers in the casino. There are drug dealers in the street. And if you go down the street, just off the strip, well, you'll find a car dealer, concesionario. So again, it's used. Now, it's interesting because in another business, you would say, well, he works in real estate, or he sells knives. He's a salesman. But for some reason with cars and with drugs, we call them dealers. And sometimes those two go together, right? A lot of times they deal drugs using cars. Oh, it's a good way to remember that, right? So a drug dealer, okay? Y luego to deal. He deals drugs. Ahí es traficar, right? So again, pay attention to the context, because as you can see, this word, you can find it in many, many different incarnations in the English language. And as with all our words like that, all the ones we use in our double trouble, if you're paying attention, you won't get confused. You'll know which one it is from the context. So awesome stuff. Excellent. Dill and deal. Let's see. Chris Valrol says, morning, dear show with no namers. Hello, Chris. Hope you're doing well. She says, I'm not at home. Oh, well, I hope you're on vacation then. I'm trying to follow the show, but I can't participate. Thank God Elena is participating today, and she is simply awesome. Well, Elena represents all of you today, and I think, again, she is kicking ass. In fact, this show doesn't have a name, right? Right? It's the show with no name. Well, today we're going to call it Elena's show. What do you think of that? It's official. Today is called Elena's show. That's right. And Simon too. Can we sponsor featuring Simon? Hey, why not? I want to give credit to the people who are participating. Let's see. Simon says, no big deal to learn about the deal meaning. Well, yeah. The thing is, it's a word. So as I call them, I call those words rich words. Palabras ricas, ¿no? Que si las conocemos y las conocemos bien en profundidad, well, nos puede ayudar con muchas situaciones en la vida. All right, my amigos, let's take a look at our spelling bee words as well. And today's spelling bee takes us over to California. That's where our bear story was too, our ice cream bear. But today we're talking about Sequoia National Park. And Sequoia National Park is located in Visalia, California. Okay, Visalia, California, which was number 4 in today's spelling bee. That's where it's located. In Tulare County, El Condado de Tulare, which is number 6. This is all located in the Sequoia National Park, which is number 2. In number 3, the Sierra Nevada mountains. Not the ones in Spain, guys, the California ones. And number 1 was U.S. Congress. And it's because today the U.S. Congress established this amazing park called Sequoia National Park. Now, the year 1890, okay, the U.S. Congress voted and made Sequoia National Park an official national park. And number 5, that's the only one we're missing here in our spelling bee right now, the General Sherman tree. Okay, and the General Sherman tree is a tree that is located in this park in the Sierra Nevada mountains, and it is by volume the largest known living single stem de un tallo, okay, single stem tree on Earth. Again, it's called the General Sherman, and it's named after a very famous American general named, you guessed it, General Sherman. Have any of you been to Sequoia National Park? I've never been, but it is most definitely high on my bucket list. In fact, California has its share of problems. They can't seem to do anything right in California. That's why people are leaving and going to Texas and many other states, because California, the governance of California is not doing a good job. And I think that's even people, Republicans and Democrats will almost agree there. High taxes, people can't afford insurance, a lot of problems, droughts, fires, it sounds like the apocalypse over there in California. But nothing will take away, I hope nothing will take away the beauty of California. Not Hollywood. Hollywood's a shithole. Seamos honestos. Hollywood is an absolute shithole. Es una pocilga, una mierda. But California, and we can't even compare Northern and Southern California because they look totally different. Southern California is more desert, and Northern California is green and lakes and things like that. So I don't care what anybody says, and I'm coming from the East Coast. California is gorgeous. And I've only discovered a small part of it. Again, barring Los Angeles from there. But Los Angeles, hey, you want traffic? You can just stay here in Madrid. You don't need to go to Los Angeles to get traffic. Oh, you want pollution? You don't need to go to California. We've got that here as well. So if you're looking for natural beauty, yeah, we've got that here. But California, especially the redwoods, this area of Northern California is absolutely gorgeous. So excellent job in our spelling bee. Right now, it is time for one of our new sections, Life Hacks.
These are the life hacks you need to know.
That's right, amigos. Life hacks. A life hack can be anything. How to clean your barbecue. I can give you that one. Onion. That'll do it. Yeah, take an onion to your barbecue and see what happens. It'll clean everything right off of there. And obviously, there's no poison in it. Onions are good for you. Lemon will do that as well. So again, these are tricks, many times natural ways to do something, right? Little shortcuts. So for example, one of the ones we looked at was getting rid of ants. Deshaciéndonos de las hormigas. And again, the easy answer is buy some Raid. No, go to the supermarket, buy some poison, and that's that. And, well, then I got poison in my house. Again, those of you with pets and kids, well, you think twice about that. So we looked at some natural remedies such as vinegar, tea tree oil, and things like that. Well, today we're taking a look at a car hack. Well, you know what? Driving, it's a necessary evil, and something that you got to do to get around. But what about when you go to like a mall or a hospital or any place that has a parking garage, and that parking garage has several levels, muchas plantas, right? Level -1, -6, -7, or a theme park, any place where there are a lot of parking spots. All right, now this may seem really easy. And, you're thinking, Alberto, come on, I already do that. Well, not everybody does it. And I think you should. And this is to take a picture. It's that simple. We take out our phones 75 million times a day. Well, why not just take it out when you park? And be careful, because sometimes you'll just take the number of the parking space, but you'll forget to take what floor you're on. So you've got to be either really creative with your photo and say, okay, I'm going to get 125 and -1 in the background. Okay, you can do that. Or remember, you can take as many pictures as you want with the phone. So what you should do is always, even if you're thinking, oh, I'll remember it, you never know. things happen, all of a sudden somebody gives you a call with some bad news, and your brain is just melted in that moment there. And so here you have a record of it. You know where you parked, what floor you're on, and you don't have to, leave the movie, the mall, or wherever you're going and stress it. Y estresarlo, because in the end, you just go to your phone and say, era planta menos tres. Like, look at Barajas, parking A, B, C. And then you've got la planta. So you've got the parking garage there. You've got the floor, and you've got the parking. So the parking spot. No, the parking garage, the floor, and the parking spot. Esos son las tres cosas. So you should have 3 pictures, or at least write it down. There's another way too, notes. But I feel like pictures are easier, and pictures don't lie. And it's not just parking spots. A lot of times we do it too, where you go into a mall, entras en un centro comercial, como se nota que tengo una hija de 5 años, and you go into a mall and you're like, okay, take a picture of the store, the first store you see when you walk in. Again, you can remember this and it's great, but we don't always remember everything, especially, again, when we've got other things on our mind. So what am I saying? Mark where you're going, when you're going somewhere, this way you'll have a visual clue. And if you're going out drinking in a different city, you should take a picture of your hotel, take a picture of the address, have it all with you. So, if you got to get in a taxi or they find you, God forbid, face down in your own vomit, well, then they're going to say, oh, okay, he's staying at the hotel, and you'll be able to be identified. So take pictures. And even if something is serious, God forbid, you get kidnapped or, something happens, someone robs your phone, well, there's going to be a record of where you were. Even if someone steals your phone, you still have access to the iCloud and all that stuff. So someone could see where you are. It could potentially even save your life, So stadiums, malls, any place where you could get confused really easily. A different city counts as that. Not just your hotel, but the hotel room. I always take a picture of the door. Okay, 600, because honestly, then you have to remember, ¿a qué hora sale el vuelo? And before you know it, your mind just is on overload. So take pictures when you go to places that maybe you're not familiar with. If you go to the same mall every time and you park in the same area every time, fine. But that doesn't happen when you're traveling. That doesn't happen when you go to another city, right? So take these photos. You'll thank yourself later. And that is today's life hack. It's more than just a parking hack. It's a way to journal what you're doing. And a lot of people, and this is got to be careful here, these days take pictures of their IDs, which I think on one hand, it's great. No tengo el DNI, pero tengo una foto, soy yo. Okay, you can show it and maybe they accept it and say, okay, sí, es el, mira, stuff. But also, what happens if your phone gets stolen or somebody hacks your account? What happens? Right? Then all of a sudden, somebody has your ID front and back. So be careful with that stuff. I wouldn't recommend taking pictures of, personal IDs or things, but everything else, hotel room, in the end, if you need to go back, it reminds me of The Hangover, Resacón en Las Vegas. If you need to go back and retrace your steps, well, all you have to do is take a look at that camera roll, your last 10 pictures, and they will tell a story. All right, my amigos, let's see a couple comments. Simon says, another hack is to always keep the parking lot ticket. 1, for safety, and 2, to pay at the pay station in case it is only at the ground floor level. Yeah, that's another thing. Locate, I'm going to add to that, locate the machines where you pay, and this way, too. Okay, you can even take a picture of them, but absolutely, because it's happened to all of us, where you park and you say, where the fuck did I park? And as we just looked at here, you can extend that to what was my hotel room number again? Well, if you got it in your phone, then you'll never have to ask yourself those questions again. I hope this helped. This was today's life hack. Folks, we've got to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with the rest of today's show. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to part 4 of today's show. What? Elena's show. It's not the show with no name today. Welcome back to Elena's show featuring Simon. Hey, that's the good thing about not having a name. I can call it whatever I want. All right, folks, we're going to kick it off with our double trouble. We've got our Say What soundbite. After that, we are going to take a look at today's Name That Movie. We've got jokes, famous birthdays, Name That Lyric, and so much more up ahead. And after today's show, you can stay tuned and continue to learn with Gretchen. You've also got Rob and Andy in the lunchtime show. Don't forget about Ruby. You've got Dave Boys in the salad. Drive Time with Kyle Miller. Chris Frank in Frankly Speaking. Rob Graham's in the Pro Bow Show. No Excuses with Fitz. The Hour to Empower with Jessica Fernandez. And the man, the myth, the legend, none other than Richard Vaughn and his program, Richard Vaughn Live. You can get all these programs on the Vaughn Radio app or wherever you get your podcasts. But you'll never miss a show that way. All right, amigos, let's do today's double trouble. Yeah.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
All right, amigos, today's double trouble. If you have traveled around in English, you should be able to figure this one out. I think so, at least. Yeah, because this is something that, remember how we said English on the go is about learning everywhere? You know, by looking at signs, by tasting food, local customs. Well, this one, if you look at signs, letreros, señales, then you'll know it. And you've traveled to, well, you don't even have to go to an English-speaking country. I went to Dubai, and the signs were in English, too. So, all right, here we go. Su maletín se encontró en objetos perdidos. Se halló, hallazgo, I don't know. Well, se encontró. Su maletín se encontró en objetos perdidos. You've got to use the same word twice. That's what makes it a double trouble, right? So we're looking for a repeat of a word in there. Su maletín se encontró, fue encontrado en objetos perdidos. A lo mejor fue encontrado, suena mejor que se encontró. Hey, don't trust my Spanish. You can trust my English, not my Spanish. All right? Su maletín fue encontrado o se encontró en objetos perdidos. There's your double trouble. You've got to use the same word twice. Good luck. Also, let me give you the Say What soundbite. Here it is for the fourth time.
Luke Skywalker, eh? I'm not very fond of Jedi. In fact, I hate them.
Uh-oh, we made the dog bark. She doesn't like the Joker either.
Listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Vaughn Town, a peaceful place where you can really learn English and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Vaughn Town, lose your fear of speaking English. If you want more information about this immersive experience, go to grupovaughn.com or give us a call, 911-385831. Lose your fear of speaking English and express yourself with clarity at Vaughn Town.
That's right, folks. Vaughn Town, it is a life-changing experience. And I'm not just saying that because that's some fancy marketing line. No, I'm saying it because I have students that have gone to Vaughn Town, and many of them, and they have all come back raving about Vaughn Town. To rave is to sing the praises of, dar elogios. They think, wow, are you serious? I can't believe it. So if you want more information about Vaughn Town or any of our initiatives, go over to grupovaughn.com. Also, make sure you're following us on social medias. All right, let's take a look. We've got Elena taking a stab at today's double trouble. Let's see, Elena, I have a hunch you're going to figure it out. She says, his briefcase was found in the lost and found. Ahora, yo lo diría con the, pero también funciona sin the. So his briefcase was found in lost and found, or in the, porque viene de the lost and found department, the lost and found office, but it's fine. Either one, with the or without the in this case. Now, you call it objetos perdidos. We say perdidos y encontrados, which kind of makes sense. Como si estaba perdido, ahora no. Ahora lo tenemos ubicado. So I think that's, what made me write, I think, the first book, English Everywhere, was I realized that a lot of people in Spain knew how to say, my tailor's rich, my mother's in the kitchen, FX Stevie Wonder, la cagaste, burlancaste. And I'm like, okay, but why don't we learn some, real stuff here? My tailor is rich. How's that going to help you? And I realized, I started asking my students, oh, you know how to say, no me malinterpretes? You know how to say, ¿dónde me podría decir dónde está objetos? And I realized a lot of these really useful expressions hadn't been taught. So I wanted to put these into a material. It's called English Everywhere. Again, you've got 40 different chapters, and you've got chapters that deal with the pharmacy, chapters that deal with cooking and being in the kitchen, where we look at dill and all the spices and herbs. Plus, you'll find homophones in there, common mistakes, and all of it with audio. As all our Vaughn materials come with audio, you know that. It's so important in a language learning process to know not just how to read it, but how it sounds aloud, right? That's what we really need to know. So excellent job, Elena, knocking it out of the park today. His briefcase was found in the lost and found. All right, amigos, let's keep it moving. It's time for today's Name That Movie. Name That Movie. That's right, amigos. It's Name That Movie. In fact, I was at the movies this past weekend. Yeah, shout out to my sister-in-law, mi cuñada. Yeah, my wife and I got 2.5 hours to go to the movies. It was a miracle of miracles. I couldn't believe it. 2.5 hours without dad. I love my daughter more than anything in this world. Sometimes you just want to watch an adult movie. Sometimes you get sick of tipos malos, bad guys, and the Smurfs and all that stuff, and you just want to watch like a gory movie. Well, this was it was quite gory, although not the whole movie, just gory moments. I'm talking about weapons. Que de hecho mi mujer, ¿cómo se pronuncia? Weapons? I'm like, the arms. Bueno, decís armas igual, ¿no? Arms, weapons. That's right. I told her, pues imagínate la palabra sin la A, lo mismo que, o sea, estábamos en el coche y contándole ahí como si fuera la radio. I'm like, imagínate la palabra sin la A. And she says, weapons? I'm like, forget it. Say arms. So weapons. Crazy movie. We enjoyed it. Also, when you think about all the crap that's out there, any movie that has a halfway decent story, some good actors, and keeps your attention, I'll take it these days. Back then that was the norm. And now it's like, oh, where's the cape? Where are the explosions? And I like superheroes as much as the next guy, but it's called overkill. Overkill es pasarse demasiado para que ya la gente le coge asco a algo. It's called overkill, right? All right, let's take a look at today's movie, and we'll see if you guys recognize it. An unstable dad who, after getting out of a mental institution, tries to convince his daughter that there's Spanish gold buried somewhere under suburbia. Vamos por partes. Inestable es unstable in inglés, con UN, no, it's not instable, it's unstable. So an unstable dad who, after getting out of, saliendo de, a mental institution, that's a psychiatric institution, tries to convince his daughter. ¿Os acordáis del phrasal verb? He tries to talk his daughter into it. It's another way of saying it. Well, he tries to convince her that there's Spanish gold, lo has oído bien, buried somewhere en algún sitio under suburbia. And suburbia is, bueno, los pueblos de la ciudad, ¿no? Where there's sidewalks. When we talk about suburbia, we talk about, that country life in the United States, having big spaces to drive and walk and play, as opposed to a city, right, where everything's kind of on top of itself. All right, so the movie is called King of California. Hey, we're talking a lot about California today, huh? We talked about Sequoia National Park. Well, yeah, King of California. It's a movie that came out in 2007, and it stars Michael Douglas and Evan Rachel Wood. And it's a pretty decent movie. I remember seeing it when it came out. And let's take a look. I've chosen a scene for you here. Let's extract a little bit of English from it. Miranda says, "You want to know how California got its name? ¿Sabes cómo California obtuvo su nombre? It's not named after some explorer or king. No lo nombraron por un explorador o un rey. It's not named after. Fijaos, lo pronuncio todo junto. Named after. It's not named after some explorer or king. Someone made the name up. Alguien inventó el nombre. A writer, un escritor. He just pulled it out of his imagination. Lo sacó de la imaginación. In the 16th century, el siglo XVI, in Spain, he made up this place where there was unlimited gold. Ilimitado, unlimited gold, and pearls y perlas, and beautiful, fierce women, mujeres feroces, who wore gold armor, armadura de oro. They wore gold armor and rode wild beasts. To ride is montar. Okay, bestias salvajes. And rode wild beasts. And he called it California. It's true. It was a bestseller back then. And then he's kind of skeptical. And she says, yeah, Charlie told me that. Me lo dijo Charlie. He said I could look it up if I didn't believe him. To look it up. Acordaos, esto es como se dice buscar. We don't say look for it on the internet. We say look it up. Consúltalo, ¿no? En una base de datos también se usa. No es que está perdido, es que hay que buscar, consultar, is look it up. So he said I could look it up if I didn't believe him. But I didn't need to. Obviously, he was lying to her, and she should have looked it up. All right, amigos, that was King of California. I think it's time for a section where we take a look at some jokes. You know it. You're joking.
Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar. You're joking.
That's right, amigos. Let's take a look at the jokes I've prepared for you today. I decided, since we were looking at national parks and Sequoia National Park and California being a beautiful state it is, I figured we could take a look at some nature-based jokes today. So these all have something to do with nature. All right, what do you call a flower that runs on electricity? Okay. Que usa electricidad. What do you call a flower that runs on electricity? Easy. A power plant. Hey, we looked at this word last week in a double trouble. We looked at the word face plant, right? Caerse, creo que la traducción era se cayó de cara delante de la central eléctrica. He did a face plant in front of the power plant. Pues ya tenías que saber esta, right? So what do you call a flower that runs on electricity? A power plant? Power is how we say electricidad. Si decimos no hay electricidad en la casa, there's no power. The power is out. You wouldn't say electricity even though that's what you mean. We don't have electricity. Es mucha palabra. The power's out, right? A blackout. The power is out. So a power plant is where they make the electricity, usually. Well, nuclear, using turbine engines. All right, I've got more for you, folks. Naturally, what garden plant is always cold? What garden plant is always cold? A chili. No. Well, you know chili, red hot chili peppers. Now everybody knows the group, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Well, a chili, you call them chiles, right? Mexican, very popular in Mexican food. Chili. But also chili con Y es frío, right? So what garden plant is always cold? Chili. All right, last one. What type of tree fits in your hand? What type of tree fits in your hand? A palm tree. Palma, una palmera, a palm tree fits in the palm of your hand. Okay. All right. Well, hey, hopefully you guys were entertained and you learned some words with double meanings. And I think that's worth celebrating. So let's celebrate in today's famous birthday trivia. All right, amigos, let's take a look at today's famous birthdays. The first guy was a prince. He's not anymore, but he was a pretty fresh prince. Fresh Prince? El Príncipe de Bel-Air? Okay, Yeah, well, if you don't know him now, you're never going to know him. He was in Men in Black, and, well, he's got a lot of different songs as well. Parents just don't understand. I remember I used to watch that video over and over and over. And Summertime, Ring My Bell, Getting Jiggy with It, which is off the album Lost and Found. Hey, we looked at that word, Lost and Found. Aha. Well, it's also a Will I just said his name. Well, easy one. The first one's easy. Come on, All right. He slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars. Okay? All right. Now you know him. All right. Number two. This actor was born in 1944. He's always had a connection to Spain since I can remember. In Hola magazine, you would always see him with not his first wife. I think his first wife. No. His mother. Actually, because his father's was a famous actor. And his mother's name was Diana Dill Eneldo. Hey, you guys know at least you know how to pronounce it. Yeah. So, yeah, he comes from a family of actors. But he was best known for Wall Street, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Fatal Attraction, The Jewel of the Nile, Falling Down. He's awesome. I got to say, I'm a fan. And Catherine Zeta-Jones. Say no more. Hats off, dude. All right. And last but not least, this guy played Luke Skywalker. That's right. The guy who played Luke Skywalker, he has also voiced the Joker in the Batman animated series. Yeah, so it's kind of cool. He's the good guy, and then he plays the bad guy as well. And, well, he's been in many movies as well. But once you play Luke Skywalker, you're always going to be Luke Skywalker. Unless you're Harrison Ford. Then you can play Han Solo, and you can still be Indiana Jones, because he's Harrison Ford. I love this guy, but he's no Harrison Ford. But that's kind of cool. Who are you? The Joker and Luke Skywalker. Wow. All right, team effort here. Give it up for Simon and Elena. They nailed it over here. Number 1, Will Smith. Number 2, Michael Douglas. And number 3, Mark Hamill. That's right. Anix, you got it as well. Wonderful job, Anix. Will Smith, Michael Douglas, and Mark Hamill. Let's go over to our Say What soundbite. It's Mark Hamill doing the Joker voice. Yeah, so he's doing one of his voices of one of his characters to talk about another character. So he goes, Luke Skywalker, hey? This is his Joker voice. I'm not very fond of Jedi. Right? Como te digo, ahí es plural, Jedi. In fact, I hate them. Les odio. And then the dog barks, and he goes, uh-oh. Then he drops character, and he goes, uh-oh, we made the dog bark. And he goes, she doesn't like the Joker either. A ella no le cae bien el Joker tampoco. So here he is, Mark Hamill.
Luke Skywalker, eh? I'm not very fond of Jedi. In fact, I hate them.
Uh-oh, we made the dog bark. She doesn't like the Joker either.
Hi, hello, Alberto. I think the song is... No? Sorry, bye.
Name a lyric, name a lyric, name a lyric, name a lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. Name a lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. It's name a lyric only on the show with no name.
That applause is for you, folks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Special shout out to Elena, Simon, Anix, and Chris Valrol, and all of you who didn't get a chance to participate live, even though you'd love to. I know we're all doing a million things every day, but the good news is you can always catch this show wherever you get your podcasts or on the Vaughn Radio app. So even if you can't tune in live, we love you just the same. Thank you again to all of you who are here. However, whenever you listen to the show, I appreciate you. And it's not just me. We at Vaughn Radio appreciate you. So thank you. And I figured this would be a really good song for today because it's still summertime. That's right. This is when Will Smith used to be a pretty good musician. And then, well, his latest raps, we won't talk about them. But some good vocabulary. He goes, summertime. He says, time to sit back. Reclinarte. Makes sense. Time to sit back and unwind. I love this word. Well, if you're all wound up, te han dado mucha cuerda. We looked at this last week. No estás tenso. You're all wound up. You need to unwind. And how do we unwind? Well, sometimes it just takes a simple deep breath. Thank you so much, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure joining you here in the summertime. Come on. We'll be back tomorrow with more Show with No Name. I promise. Ciao for now. Ow! Come on.
Here it is, a groove slightly transformed. Just a bit of a break from the norm. Just a little something to break the monotony.